So what I'm doing here is first rinsing it with distilled water, making sure it's closed at the bottom, and I just swirl it around so the water covers all the areas, and I spin it around. It's best to face it towards the waste container. It's only got water in it, so I can put this one down the sink. And I also got to make sure I rinse past the stopcock there, so I need to flush that out as well. So that's fully rinsed with water. And now that I've done a thorough rinse with water, you also need to do that at the very end when you've finished, which I'm not going to repeat, but I'm just going to rinse it now with the substance that you use, which is potassium permanganate. Now, all of the waste of this from now on needs to go into the waste container. And so like the distilled water, I just let it rinse. So just swirling it around. And so covering all the surfaces and giving it a good rinse in potassium permanganate and putting it in the waste container. And just wiping it if there's, just to check that there's nothing that's dripping. And so just remember again, always below eye height, you always have to remove it from the stand. And this time I'm just going to flush it out, making sure there's no bubbles left behind in the tip there. So just cleaning that all out. And then you're good to go. You can fill it up. Now you don't want to fill it past about 20 mils because you're only going to need, with this method, you're only going to need about 4 to 6 mils for each trial. So more than 20 mils, you're going to start wasting material. So here we have some students just using the pipette bulb and a 20 ml pipette to take out, it's around 3% hydrogen peroxide, but we don't know the exact percent, so that's our titration, that's why we're doing it. And we're going to use 4 mils of 6 molar acid, which we will work out later is far too much. 6 molar is actually quite dangerous too, so you should really keep it under 3. I think it's like 100 times more than what we need. So 1 mil of 1 molar might be enough. I didn't do the calculations that we're way over. And you can see the meniscus there is just right. Okay, so it's right on the meniscus. And so when you expel it, if you've watched the full titration technique, they will hold this vertical soon. And once all the liquid's out, hold it there for a couple of seconds to remove the remaining bits that are left. And then you've got a full 20 mils. Now you don't see me adding the acid. It's a little bit too much acid. You'll just have to trust me on that one. And then they're just doing the titration there. And I'll just skip to the sort of pink color. That's the sort of pink color you should expect to see. All right. Now, just quickly then, you can pause this. I've just got the calculations there on how to do the redox balancing. So we need that to get the ratios for our calculations. And then they should have read to a 0.05, but they swear that they knew they should have because it's half the smallest increment, even though all those values there are to zeros. There's no 0.05. It's all read to 0.1s. So I'll trust them on that. The absolute uncertainty to me wasn't quite working because one of those cells was as a text instead of a number, which we fixed later. And so you can see the stoichiometry calculations there. It was the standardized permanganate was 0.0196 exactly. And so doing those ratios there, we calculated the hydrogen peroxide concentration as 0.01029. Now, just to check whether we used enough acid, you can see the acid calculations there. In the end, we only needed 0.0002, but we put in like 0.05. And so I don't even know how much that is, just way too much. So that definitely needs to be fixed. Hopefully that'll be fixed by the time you're doing this method, if you're watching this video. And just finally, how accurate were we? Not too bad. So it was actually quite a small amount. It was 1 mil of the 30% in a litre. So the answer was 0.0979. So just about a 5% error, which it was, the tech also told me today it was from an open bottle. So lucky that it was only a 5% error. I'd say all of the error would have come from the hydrogen peroxide, just slowly going off over time. All right. So a pretty good result on that for them today.